I am Galileo Galilei, born on February 15, 1564, in Pisa, Italy. My father, Vincenzo, was a musician and theorist who questioned long-held beliefs, and from him I learned that tradition should never outweigh reason. Though I first enrolled in the University of Pisa to study medicine, the rhythms of nature, numbers, motion, harmony, pulled me toward mathematics and natural philosophy. I discovered early that the world followed laws, and I wanted to uncover them. When I became a professor in Padua in 1592, I entered the most productive years of my life. My classroom overflowed with students eager to see the experiments I performed. Balls rolling down inclined planes, pendulums swinging with perfect rhythm, objects falling at the same rate, regardless of weight. These simple demonstrations quietly dismantled the physics of Aristotle, which had dominated thinking for nearly 2,000 years. Then, in 1609, a rumor reached me about a Dutch spyglass. I built my own, improving the design until it could magnify the heavens like never before. When I aimed it skyward, the universe cracked open. I saw mountains and valleys on the moon, proving the heavens were not perfect. I watched 4 moons circling Jupiter, a miniature system defying Earth's supposed centrality. I observed sunspots shifting across the sun's surface, and Venus passing through phases, clear evidence that it orbited the sun. In 1610, I published A Starry Messenger, a book that made me one of the most famous men in Europe. I became the official mathematician and philosopher of the Medici family. Yet my growing support for Copernicus' sun-centered model placed me in dangerous territory. The church warned me to stay silent, but truth is not easily buried. Years later, believing I had permission, I wrote dialogue concerning the 2 chief world systems, presenting the arguments for and against Earth's motion. Though framed as a debate, its conclusion was clear. The Earth moves, just as Copernicus claimed. For this, I was summoned to Rome in 1633. I was nearly 70, suffering from illness and exhaustion. When I stood before the Inquisition, under threat of torture, I was forced to recant the very truth my eyes had seen. Sentenced to house arrest for the rest of my life, I returned to my villa in Arches. My vision faded into blindness, but my mind never dimmed. There, in confinement, I wrote to New Sciences, a work that laid the foundations of modern physics, the science of motion, strength, and matter. Long after my death in 1642, my ideas guided Newton and helped shape the scientific revolution. I am Galileo Galilei, the man who dared to look beyond the accepted truth, who saw mountains on the moon and worlds orbiting distant giants. I was silenced in my time, but my discoveries spoke for centuries.